Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Yacono. Amanda Hill is off this week. We will get to all those stories in just a moment. First, though, an absolutely stunning day out there. Ryan Breton in for Keith tonight. Ryan, a little more where that came from, right?
Yes, and it feels so much sweeter, Brian, after what we went through last week and during the beginning of the holiday weekend. But what a day out there today. Nice and clear right now, looking from South Portland out toward Portland Headlight. 63 degrees there after a high temperature that was in the upper 60s earlier today. Parts of the state, though, hitting the low 70s away from the coastline.
Memorial Day ceremonies were held across the state today, including at the Maine Veterans Memorial Cemeteries, the resting places for thousands of people who served. Loved ones say it's important to remember those who fought and paid the ultimate price. However, there is a growing concern that veterans groups are now struggling to engage younger generations in honoring the fallen. News Center Maine's Vivian Lee has our story from Augusta. The state fire marshal's office says a fire that killed a woman in Pittsfield started in an overloaded power strip. Crews were called to Gilly Brown's home on Cardinal Street just before 1 p.m. once that fire broke out. They found what they presumed to be her body inside. An autopsy will confirm if it is indeed Mrs. Brown. State police looking for your help today, finding a woman who disappeared from her home overnight. So take a look at the photo of Brandy Foster. She lives with her grandmother in the town of Windsor. She was last seen around 11 o'clock Sunday night. But when her grandmother woke up this morning, Brandy and her dog were gone. It is not known whether they simply walked away from that home or if they got a ride somewhere. So Brandy Foster is 28 years old. She has neurodevelopmental disorders. If you know where she is, you are urged to call state police. U.S. Department of Labor says it is investigating a local brewery now under the Fair Labor Standards Act. News Center Maine's Alex Haskell is in Brunswick with what we know so far. When we come back, how Mainers and others all across the country were getting around on this Memorial Day. Plus, Donovan Lynch drew the tough assignment of going to one of Maine's most popular beaches on this first unofficial day of tourist season. Was it a litmus test for the rest of the summer? Find out as News Center Maine at 6 continues. According to AAA, the number of families hitting the road this Memorial Day weekend likely set a new record. It's estimated that more than 39 million Americans traveled somewhere by car. Now, AAA notes that we're not seeing the typical seasonal spikes in gas prices. What we are seeing, though, higher airline ticket prices. Memorial Day air travel is still expected to go up by 2% from last year. Those flights, though, are more expensive. AAA says the average round trip costs $850. Well, we caught up with one family as they began their 17-hour drive back to Michigan after a family trip to Maine.
It's a family vacation. My daughter just graduated from college. My son graduated a couple years ago, and we said let's all get into an RV, which we've never done, and go to Maine. I mean, we did back roads out here. I mean, it took us 3.5, 4 days to get out, and we're getting back in a day and a half. So we're rolling. So it's all interstate on the way back.
Jason Latham joins the nearly 2 million people expected to be traveling just through New England as they wrap up their Memorial Day trips. And as the streets in unusually quiet towns begin filling up with visitors from away, economic and political questions loom. Will as many of them make a return trip this year? News Center Maine's Donovan Lynch has more. Ryan's full forecast for the coming week is after the break, and then they have the job of stocking Maine's lakes and ponds with tens of thousands of fish. Their jobs are about to get a little easier. That story's next. As more Mainers get out to their favorite fishing spots, the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife upgrading several of our state's fish hatcheries. News Center Maine's Drew Peters takes us to one of those facilities to learn more about how these improvements will help keep our lakes and streams fully stocked. By the way, the two other hatcheries that will be receiving upgrades alongside Grand Lake Stream, those will be the New Gloucester and the Emden facilities. Such a relief in so many ways after the pattern of weekends we've had for all today's ceremonies to be dry and sunny.
I saw a couple, the one in Scarborough. Then I saw people getting ready, getting their spot for the one in Old Orchard
And
Beach.
a lot of them move around.
Yes,
finish
and
one, move to the next.
Some years, you might need blankets or sweatshirts, and if it had just been a couple of days ago, you would have.
But needed a lot more.
Yeah, fortunately today, beautiful day out there. You can see the slow climb we've been out of since late last week. That 49 on Thursday